NCAA 2024 men's and women's tournament brackets have been revealed, and the field is set as we have the field who will compete for a chance at the national championship. For the men, it will take place in Phoenix, Arizona this year. That's where the Final Four will compete. And don't forget, we got the women's bracket as well. We'll talk about that as they will be going. As this is a loaded field for the women as well, one of the most loaded fields ever as well. God's favorite host here. We got the three-headed monster. You'll see who I'm talking about shortly. Make sure you guys check us out. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. Let us know what you're looking forward to seeing as we get ready for NCAA March Madness. Right on the Flex Zone Podcast. Only place giving you sports how you want it, when you need it. The madness is here. March Madness is upon us. Selection Sunday is in the books. We know the teams who are in the field. We know the teams who will be competing for a national championship. And you know where to keep it right here on the Flex Zone Podcast. Only place giving you sports, fellas, how you want it.
When you need it.
I got the three-headed monster, and I got the dynamic duo above me. We're going to get to them in a second, but make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button, hit that bell. Go ahead, slam dunk that subscribe button, lay up that like button, and go ahead and block that bell. And you can donate via Cash App on the Flex Zone 1. He's back yet again. He is a Flex Zone Day Oneer. He is repping at Die Sporting Net. You can check out his channel at Die Sporting Net on YouTube for all your high school sports needs. Let's give it up for one more time. He was here with us on Monday. He's back again on the Flex Zone Podcast as his vacation comes to an end. He's still turning up the heat. Our friendly neighborhood D, DMV D, because ladies love the D. D.O. Diamonds. What's up, brother? How you feeling?
Oh, Byron, hit it.
Come on now, say it with me. Everybody beats the Wiz.
Yeah, that's a common thing. Look, NC State Wolfpack got more wins in the Capital One Arena than the Wizards do this year. I tell you, what a shame, man. What a shame, but. It's been good, man. Working vacation was good. It's coming to an end now. Got to see the state finals over the last couple of days. Shout out to all them teams that won. A couple Baltimore teams got it done. Epperson boys, Poly girls, Pikesville girls. Down in Howard County, Hammond was a very good surprise this season, undefeated on the girls' side. Northeast on the boys' side, if you're touching Anne Arundel County. Shout out to all of them. But check out Die Sporting Net on the Twitter. And, of course, on YouTube, Threads, Instagram, and Facebook, man. We rolling. All-Star games coming up, AAU basketball, a little lacrosse and baseball. Not going to do as much as that this year in years past. But check it all out as we about to talk about the madness of March.
This next man, we talk about March Madness, is Meat Madness, as Big Raj is here yet again. And you know he'll be somewhere watching the festivities, eating some meat. Because not only is it March Madness, it's Meat Madness.
No bread, no water, just meat.
Finish him, Daddy.
That's what they always say. But yes, I'll be somewhere watching March Madness. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have not watched a lick of college basketball this year. Maryland has sucked a lot. And there's really not too many stars in college basketball, except in the women's side, of course, with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But other than that, it's like, But March Madness is always good to watch because it's one and done. Cinderella teams. It's a free-for-all. And it gets messy out there. So it is fun to watch that.
Well, let's get into it, D. I want to start with you. For those who may or may not know, or people like Roger who haven't really watched college basketball this season or a lot of it, on both the men's and women's side, what do people need to know? What do they need to be looking for? Any networks that we just talked about, things are changing, where the games might be, and just storylines or things people need to pay attention to as the field is set.
Well, both sides for I think the second or third straight year has 68 teams each. On the men's side, we have some of our normal suspects. No local teams on the men's side. Unfortunately, didn't get it done. Morgan got a little close, so they couldn't get in there. So it is what it is there. You want to look for double-seeded teams. At least one high-seeded team has made the Sweet 16 since 2010. So we're certain to have another one. We'll talk about that as we go through the bracket. And the favorite right now on the men's side is defending champion UConn. Looking good won their conference tournament. Kind of rolled through the regular season, didn't have too many hiccups. On the women's side, undefeated at South Carolina. They've only lost one game in 2 years, and that was to Iowa last year in the Final Four. So they looking good. But on the women's side, is the bracket of death. The men's side, the brackets look kind of even on all four sides, and we'll get into it in a moment.
Yes, if you're just joining us, we are looking at the bracket. We're going to pull it up in a second. I'm going to look through each region. Make sure you guys hit that like button, please. It helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. And make sure you subscribe if you're new. We'll be talking about it all throughout the tournament and even tomorrow during our flagship podcast as well. But make sure you guys also check out DMVD, Sporting Net, Sporting Net. It is all your high school sports needs. Raj, anything you're looking forward to as well? I know you mentioned the Cinderellas. Are you expecting some upsets? I mean, this is a pretty wide open field, maybe even more wide open than last year.
Yeah, because there isn't that many big names and this pretty much pool of players. So I expect a lot of upsets. I expect everybody's bracket to be busted after the first day. I mean, you could say, like, who's the number one team? Like, does it really matter who the number one team is this year? I mean, are we saying? I mean, we already know in the draft. You said it earlier on our text messages that there isn't a clear cut, first round pick coming out as far as the draft is concerned. So it's like, who are we like really expecting to, have a big game in these games coming up for the men? But it just depends, man. We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a star made in this tournament, like it always is, and somebody's going to elevate their stock in the NBA draft this coming March this March Madness.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start to look at the bracket. D, I want to start with you because UConn is the number one overall seed, the reigning defending national champions, looking to go back to back. Something that has not been done often, obviously. When you look at the region they're in the East. You got them playing Stetson. I'll just go down the matchups real quick. UConn plays Stetson. Florida Atlantic plays Northwestern. San Diego State, the team UConn beat last year, D, playing UAB. Charles Barkley's Auburn Tigers playing Yale, who won on the buzzer beater today. BYU playing Duke Ness. Illinois playing Morehead State. Washington State playing Drake. And Iowa State playing South Dakota. How do you see this region stacking up? And who do you have in the Elite AD?
It's an interesting region in the East. Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, and UConn, all three of them was in the Final Four last season. So with all three of them being in the same region is interesting. Florida Atlantic, they're in this year now the AAC, the American Athletic Conference. They moved there from Conference USA. Played well throughout the year. They had some hiccups. They was ranked most of the year, and they did win their conference. They didn't get far in their conference tournament, though. But playing Northwestern to be interesting. A mid team from the Big Ten. And San Diego State had a good year, too. Auburn's the team to watch out for here. They're looking good, coming on strong. They just won the SEC tournament. And the Yale matchup's going to be interesting with them. Yale beat Brown at the buzzer today. But I think it's going to be UConn, Auburn here. And then on the bottom part of it, I don't know about Iowa State, man. Iowa State, they can look good sometimes. Like they beat Houston. But they can have moments they don't look well. Their strength of schedule wasn't that great. I think that's what cost them a 1 seed in the tournament. So I'm gonna say Washington State might pull off the second round upset and beat Iowa State. And Illinois Shout out my man Chester Frazier. Shout out my man Chester. I think
Shout
Illinois is
out to
going to get
Chester.
through. That's they went through the Big Ten tournament, beat Wisconsin. I think it's going to be Illinois and Washington State in the Sweet 16. I like UConn to get out the region, but it's not going to be easy as it looks just because of the fact that you've seen a lot of Spurs teams, San Diego State and Florida Atlantic and Auburn, very Spurs.
I agree with you on the UConn D. I just don't really see them having a hiccup. It may be a little tough when they get to maybe an Auburn or an Illinois, but honestly, they have the experience. They just seem like the best team. But Raj, are you buying the UConn hype of them possibly going back to back? We know how hard it can be.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I buy them going back to back. I mean, they only lost 3 games so far this season. Anything can happen, really. But North Carolina, that's North Carolina seems like they're always the number one team, like every single year in this tournament, or at least number 1, number 2, number 3. Um, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I think they can. They probably can, just because they're going to beat Stetson. No disrespect to them, and they'll probably beat either Auburn or UAB too. So they'll definitely be in the Sweet 16. It's just, can they make it? Past that. I I don't know. I think they definitely can. But as always, I am rooting for North Carolina. To get in there. Since Maryland is not there, I can't root for them. North Carolina, I do love to see Michael Jordan's old alma mater, get another national championship. But yeah, man, it would be nice, but I mean, we'll see. But yes, UConn has a chance to get another championship. Will I think they get one? I don't know. I gotta wait till I do my bracket to figure it out.
Well, let's go to North Carolina because they are in the West, and they have the winner of Howard and Amiak and Wagner. Mississippi State playing Michigan State. Interesting matchup there.
Interesting game there. Yeah.
Yep, very interesting. D. I circled that. St. Mary's playing Grand Canyon. Alabama playing Charleston. Interesting matchup as well. Clemson, New Mexico. Baylor, Colgate. Dayton, Nevada. 10-7 is always interesting. And Arizona, Long Beach State. As many of you know, I'm still holding on a grudge from Arizona all those years ago when they didn't get to the Final Four and they was eliminated, I think, by a 15 CD.
Yeah.
They're one of those teams that always seems to let you down when you need them most. And it is in Phoenix, Arizona this year. So the question is, will they be able to take it home and play in front of their home crowd? But D, we kind of know who Roger's riding for. I'll go back to him in a second. But are you believing in Arizona? Do you maybe see North Carolina?
They've been a trendy pick here. As I was watching some of the bracketology and stuff, they're a trendy pick, Arizona. They're another one that played good in the Pac-12 this year, but like I said, they lost to Oregon kind of convincingly Friday night in the Pac-12 semifinals. I think with where it's at, Baylor's always one you got to watch out for, that 3 spot. Baylor, very tested, very experienced, coach experienced, and Baylor's a tournament team. You look at the record at 23-10, you might not think they are, but they're always a tournament team. So I think it'd be Baylor, Arizona in the Sweet 16. But it's a story about Long Beach State. Them and their coach mutually agreed to part ways, and then Long Beach State went on to win the WAC, I think it was the WAC championship, man. So, I mean, just wild there in that one. I don't see the toothpaste Colgate getting it done against Baylor. No offense to them. Don't see that happening. I do think North Carolina might have some trouble with Mississippi State and Michigan State. And Mississippi State really took Tennessee out of their game Friday. I watched most of that game. It was a one-sided game. And Mississippi State dominated the basketball game, man. So this is not the same Michigan State team. And out of all the teams, I think Michigan State might have got in because of reputation. But I think North Carolina will get at least to the Elite Eight and lose to Baylor in the Elite Eight. I think Baylor, always a tough team to have in the tournament. And looking at it right now, that could be the team to beat.
Raj, I know not only is North Carolina in his bracket, I meant to bring it up. Yeah, Alabama, Roll Tide. I know this ain't college football, even though we're going to have a bunch of teams soon enough in their playoffs, the way they're going. Are you feeling what Alabama's doing
Of course
basketball
not.
wise?
No. I only go for the college football team. I don't watch Alabama basketball. Alabama's really
Mhm.
not known for basketball. We don't care really about Alabama's basketball program.
Mr. Oates is
We
not a bad coach, sir. Not a
I
bad
know
coach.
he's not, but I only cared about Nick Saban and what he did with that program for
Well,
the
Slick
last.
is gone.
I know
Slick's
he's gone.
gone.
Don't remind me. Okay, this
He
is not about
gone.
Slick. It's
He was a
about
chicken.
shut up. It's
He
about
couldn't. He couldn't take the NILs. He
no.
tapped out. He's a
Hey
chump.
man, hey, he's not gonna be the only person that taps out. All right, there's a lot of goofiness going on in college football, other than just that. But that's neither here nor there. I don't care about Alabama college basketball. It doesn't do me any favors. They probably will be eliminated. They might get out the first round. They might make it out
Who
the first
said
round.
that?
But
They're going to beat Charleston, man. They're going to
I
get to
said they're gonna make it
Charleston and
out.
beat
I said they're
them.
gonna make it out the first round.
Jesus God.
They're gonna make it out. They're gonna win a couple games, but after that, they're going home. They're not going. They're not going to the Sweet 16. They're not going to the Elite Eight. They're not doing none of that. All right, let's get that out of our heads. That's not going to happen. All right, like I said before, you got North Carolina's going to be one of those teams as always. UConn's probably going to be one of those teams that gets out as well. Clemson might make a run. I mean, you never know, man. I mean, there's a lot of close teams right now in that little bracket, but. I mean, when you ask about Alabama, no, they're not gonna make it up. That's just not.
I just think it's funny that both Alabama and Auburn got playing Spokane, Washington, man, for the first two rounds. Like, ain't talking about getting traveling. Jesus.
That'll be your late games for the weekend.
No doubt.
So I think just for those who may have just joined us, make sure you guys hit that like button. We're kind of all feeling UConn in the East.
And
In
if
the
you're on
West,
Facebook, head over
yes.
to the YouTube page, man, and subscribe to the Flex Zone podcast on YouTube. We're trying to get them likes up as well.
Awesome.
Yes, please hit that like button. We'll be talking March Madness all week, more tomorrow, but we wanted to come on here and break it down as we first look at it. You know what? I'm gonna roll with Arizona. I'm gonna just roll with Arizona one more time. See if they can
Roll the
get
dice,
home.
man.
I'm gonna roll the dice one more time and see what
Because they don't got to travel. I mean, you're going from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles,
Yeah.
to Glenelg, man. Like you got to travel out your region.
Yes. Now we get to the Midwest, and I got to do my spiel because I don't know if there's a more overrated team, D. And Rod, you may agree with this, than Purdue. I know
Oh,
we
yeah.
see him as
Preach.
Maryland fans in the Big Ten. They got big Zach Edey, 8 foot tall. Seemed like he always comes up smaller than mini-me this time of year. Last year it was like a bunch of little kids guarding him. He couldn't do nothing. I mean, they were the number one team a lot of this season. They did lose to Wisconsin, who went on to lose to Illinois. But I'm just not buying this Purdue goofiness. Just like Gonzaga all those years, they never got it done. I'm not buying Purdue, D, and I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to maybe a Gonzaga or a Kansas in the Sweet 16, maybe.
Well, Kansas not healthy right now. Hunter Dickinson is out. Hunter Dickinson's very familiar with Mr. ZD, playing at Michigan the last couple of years. So
Yes.
that will be an interesting Sweet 16 matchup. Gonzaga's been under the radar this year because they haven't been as good. St. Mary's was a little better than them this season in the West Coast Conference. But just looking at it, out of all of them, I know everyone looks kind of even. Tennessee lacks a little offense to me. I mean, they played most of the year well, but then, like I said, they got to the SEC tournament, lost really badly to Mississippi State. They might get Texas in the round of 32, which would be interesting. South Carolina's had a great year. When certain matchups don't work for them, and I think Oregon, a little bit, Kwame Evans, Baltimore guy on the team. Oregon just won the last Pac-12 championship. So this could be a little bit of chaos. Kansas is the key. If Kansas is healthy, I can see Kansas going on a run. If they're not healthy, they could lose to Gonzaga in the round of 32. So by default, I might say Purdue right now, but hopefully we know before Thursday when Kansas got to play what's going on with them.
I was going to say, D, yeah, they may not have Dickinson the first game because they probably don't need him, but they're going to need him if they're going to play Gonzaga. But like you said, Purdue may luck up just because of the health aspect.
And Manise State's a good team too, man. That's the game you don't want to sleep on if you Gonzaga either. They're 30-3 and had some good wins this year. So
I was going to ask you, D, how you feel about Tennessee? Are you buying them? I know they won the SEC
regular season, yeah.
regular season. Yeah,
I don't know. The Kentucky game they played the end of the year didn't look good, and then losing to Mississippi State in the first game for them the way they played. I'm not really liking the way Tennessee can. Creighton's one to watch out for too. Creighton can get going and they can score some points. And I know we're talking about some stuff. The Big East only getting 3 teams in was a little shocking. That was a little shocking.
Roger, you going with your boy Big Zach Edey, big 8-footer?
No, I'm not going.
Right.
It don't matter how tall he is. I'm not going with him. I'm not going. But Purdue though, the only Purdue I like is the Checker. So.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm not rolling with them. I can't. It's kind of weird though to see Kansas 4th. They're usually like number 1 most years, but I mean it is what it is. TCU's in there, Gonzaga's always in there. But yeah, Purdue definitely not going with them. I could see Tennessee getting past. St. Petersburg, of course. I could see them making a run. But yeah, man. It like I said before, like this whole tournament to me this year is it's a complete toss up. It really is. Like there's no like clear cut favorite besides UConn, of course, because they're the defending champions. But other than that, there is really no clear cut, team in my opinion that can, make a run. There's like no Dukes from back in the day or Maryland with Gary, and yeah, it just isn't that.
Let's go to the South. Speaking of Duke, they are in the South as a 4 seed. We got Houston. Calvin Sampson has his team a number 1 seed yet again, 30 wins. They play Longwood, Nebraska and Texas A&M, Wisconsin and James Madison, Duke and Vermont, Texas Tech and NC State. Kentucky also in this bracket, Roger. They play Oakland. Florida plays the winner of Boise State, Colorado, and Marquette, Shaka Smart, playing Western Kentucky. That's a pretty loaded region right
That's
there.
That's a loaded bracket, man. Yeah, that's a loaded bracket.
Roger, I want to start with you real quick. How you feeling, man? Are you buying Duke? You love Duke still?
I still love Duke, but it's not the same without our boy. D. You love.
Don't get plays.
I'm gonna say his name. Say what his name again, D. What we call him again?
Coach Gay. I mean,
whoa. No, wait a minute. No, it's Coach K. All right, I got 28 people. It's Coach K. All right, we gonna say his name correctly.
Okay.
No. Coach K is one of the greatest.
I love Duke. I love him.
All right. Anyway, I still got love for Duke. Okay, I do. But I just don't think they're gonna. They might like I said, they might win a couple games as well. I don't see them getting any further than maybe the 32. I just don't see it. I mean, they've been pretty good this season, but they still got a ways to go. I don't know, man. I don't see it with Duke, but Houston though. I mean, they got 4 losses, but. Are they even a big name team? I mean, have they?
Well, Houston went from they've jumped conferences in recent years. Now they're in the Big 12. Dominated the Big 12 this year, by the way.
Okay, they dominated the Big 12. This gonna be a test for them to see if they earn that number.
And they got to the Final Four. What was that 2 years ago, Byron?
Yeah, it was
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in a position to make another Final Four appearance, but I don't know. This like you said, this is loaded, so. They could mess around and be out in the second round.
I think they're better than Nebraska, A&M.
Yeah. You'll never know. With the tournament, but
yeah, this you could have potential Marquette, Duke.
They said Marquette Kentucky has played the most in the tournament. If they meet again, it'll be their 14th time.
Wow.
Well, D, how do you feel about this bracket? I mean, this region is probably maybe the toughest.
I'm gonna tell you right now, James Madison's beating Wisconsin in the first round. James Madison beat Michigan State this year, beat a couple other good teams. To start the year, they used that momentum, carried it through. They were second in there, I think in the Sun Belt. They won the Sun Belt Conference tournament. So James Madison looks good. I think they're the traditional 12. They can upset a 5, and they're in that seeding. And they're going to give Duke a run, too. I think Duke will get to the 16, lose to Houston. And on the bottom part of the bracket, it does set up for Kentucky. They was starting to peak, and then they lost to Texas A&M, which is on the upper part of the bracket. So I was kind of like maybe, but Shaka, I gotta go with my boy Shaka Smart to at least get to the Elite Eight, man. Marquette always finds a way. I was watching Marquette the other night. They looked like they was gonna lose to Providence. Came back, won the game, man, in overtime. I actually thought we won in regulation. So I think it's gonna be Houston Marquette Elite Eight. It's gonna be tough, and Houston's gonna make the Final Four again. But can an upset happen to them? Yeah, it can definitely happen.
Well, D, and you mentioned this a little earlier with the first four and all that stuff. Are there any teams that jump out to you that got snubbed and didn't get in? I know you mentioned only 3 Big East teams. How do you feel about how the selection committee did, looking at who got in, who didn't get in?
Well, I think what happened this year, we had a lot of upsets in the conference tournaments that knocked top teams out, bubble teams that was looking to get in, kind of squeeze things in, like Oregon winning, the mess that was in Atlantic 10 with Duquesne getting in, and that made 2-bid league. The AAC today, they found it was UAB and Temple, so that kind of, a lot of those conference tournaments kind of squeeze things, and they've been always talking about if you win your regular season, you should be able to get in the tournament. It is set up for the smaller conferences to win the NIT. If you can get in the NIT that way, if you lose in the main one, but I think Michigan State's the one you kind of look at and be like, yeah, you might have got in off of reputation, man. I know they played well the other day against Purdue. They only lost by single digits, but I think Seton Hall, St. John's had better year, especially Seton Hall. I think they had a better year. But I think Michigan State got in over some of them because of reputation. Indiana State would have got in from the Missouri Valley, but they was cut. I think a lot of snubs came because we had a lot of teams, maybe 5 or 6 that normally wouldn't have won that won.
Well, let's get you guys' Final Four on record, and then a winner if you got one. If you do have your 4, if not, we can circle back before we talk about the women a little bit. I do want to give them some love before we get out of here. But D, if you got your 4, you want to let the people know maybe who they should look out for. And I know you mentioned a few upsets. If you want to throw a few in there for the people who may be sprinkling a couple dollars or doing some office pools down.
Yeah, well, like I said, I would definitely take James Madison over Wisconsin. That's one. Another one to look at, McNeese State. I wouldn't pick them over Gonzaga, me personally, but if it happens, it wouldn't be surprising if it did. And the first 4 up there is a Colorado double bill. Both Colorado teams is in the first 4. And if Virginia can make it past there, look out for them to make a run. Only problem with Virginia is their lack of scoring always hurts them. I was watching them again in the ACC tournament. Their lack of scoring, they can defend, but their lack of scoring always hurts them. But they did win a national title off of it, so it is not impossible. But Final Four in the East, I like UConn to take on the West winner Baylor and Houston. And as of right now, Purdue, that might change if stuff happened with Kansas, but Houston and Purdue and UConn, Houston in the title game, and the Huskies repeating as a chance, first team to do it since Florida back in 2010, 2011.
Wouldn't that be something? First repeat champions in the NFL with the Chiefs, first time in over 20 years since the Patriots, and possibly UConn for the first time in over 20 plus years since Florida. Joakim Noah and Billy Donovan, 2 straight championships.
And mighty quick, Byron, for Roger Go, UConn has all these in common. That when they have won their national championships in recent years, they also won the Big East tournament as well. So, and they was able to do that again this year.
Raj, how you feeling? You drinking the UConn Kool-Aid? Or who are your 4 teams you got in there?
You on me, brother?
Good brother.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm picking UConn to get back to the Final Four. I definitely think they're one of those teams that's going to get back. I'm also picking Carolina. I'm a homer. I'm picking to be in the Final Four as well. I think they're going to definitely get in there in that conference. On the other side, this is a toss up. I don't think Duke is getting back or getting there. Houston, they look like they could get back, just because they've been there before. But some tells me they're gonna be upsetted. I don't think they're getting there to the Final Four. So if I did have to pick someone to get there, I might call me crazy, but I think James Madison might be that team that gets there to the Final Four.
Okay.
So that's another pick. And then my last pick will probably be
Gotcha. Got the
Gonzaga.
Purdue. The Purdue,
No,
right?
it'd be Gonzaga because we already know what Gonzaga does around this time of the year. They for some odd reason, when you count them out, they find ways to get, to the Final Four or whatnot. So I'm definitely not counting out Gonzaga. I think they're getting back. But James Madison probably will be my really, really upset pick to go to the Final Four.
Yeah, I think with that, I'm gonna ride with Kansas. I think they'll get healthy enough. Want to roll with Marquette just to be a little different. I said Arizona just because they'll be playing at home basically, and I'm gonna go UConn. Ultimately, UConn right now, but as you mentioned, Roger, with everyone on UConn, their bracket could be very, very busted early. You know how they like to do that if everyone's on one team. So we'll see.
Who is Willie Spikes, man? Is that somebody you know, D?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I figured it was. It sounded like somebody with D would know.
But he said, "Stop being a Johnson about Alabama." Okay, all right, be respectful.
I am being respectful. I am being respectful. I told you I don't care about that basketball team. I love the football team. Nick Saban was my guy. I love Nick Saban. I love our guys. I love our guys.
You can see Slick on game day in the fall.
I'm pretty sure we can have a slick back hair. Smiling.
Well, let's get to the women a little bit, D. You mentioned it's loaded. I mean, we don't have to go through every game. I just wanted to show them a little love. But at the undefeated South Carolina, we know about LSU, who won the championship last year. We got Caitlin Clark, leading scorer in NCAA history. You got Stanford. It's a lot of teams. USC, your Trojans, women's Trojans have played well all season. What should the people be looking forward to with the women and anything that they may have missed if they haven't been watching?
I mean, damn, if you're Iowa, man, right? You look at your bracket, you not only got to deal with LSU in your bracket, even before you get to the Final Four and Elite Eight matchup, but UCLA, team not to sleep on. I got to cover Kiki Rice. She's a great player out there. Covered her at Sitwell. Two of her former teammates is joining her next year out there from Sitwell. They got like a pipeline from Sitwell over to UCLA right now, and they're impressive to watch. So, I mean, damn. If you're Iowa, you like, man, who did we make mad, man, to get to the Final Four? We got to go through either UCLA or LSU. Now, Kansas State, they split with this year. They beat them once in a neutral site, and Kansas State beat them at home in 2 non-conference games. So that'll be interesting. Never count out UConn in the women's side. You never count out UConn. I know they was banged up this year. Paige is still there. She's healthy enough. And them and Ohio State in a rematch of the Sweet 16 from a year ago should be fun. Ohio State's much more improved. And USC, Juju, Watkins doing their thing, baby. Doing their thing, looking good for the Trojans. And we hope the Trojans can make it to the Final Four. And Maryland did get in. They're the only team in Maryland that's representing both men and women. And they get Iowa State, and then they probably lose to Stanford, which you're the higher seeds in the women's tournament. In the first 2 rounds, you get to host. So Maryland had that privilege for many years. They won't this year. And I think Stanford to get them, as the Pac-12 might have been the toughest women's conference right behind the SEC. And then, of course, South Carolina, the top team in the country. Rolling. Notre Dame did win the ACC, so that won't be as easy of a region to get out of. But South Carolina's on a mission. They lost a year ago, and they try and get it done. So the women's tournament will be interesting. It'll be throughout the ESPN networks. ABC had the finals and a couple of games on the weekend. So when the men ain't on, definitely check out the women, man, because the rise is here. I've been saying it the last couple of years, and now it's here, and it has arrived.
Agree with you, and it's funny that that is on April 7th. The Final Four culminates. The championship is Sunday, April 7th, like you said, on ABC in Cleveland, the same day as WrestleMania night 2. So that weekend will be loaded for sports, and the Final Four men's will be on night 1. So it's funny
Night
how that
one,
plays
yeah.
out. Raj, I mean, the women have been exciting. I mean, maybe even more exciting than the men. A lot of storylines. Seems like they want to have a Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese rematch at some point. How you feeling about the women, man? Any particular team? South Carolina, maybe to go back and try to win it this year. What are you looking forward to seeing?
Believe it or not, I actually have been watching a little bit of women's college basketball. It's been on TV, especially with Angel Reese. She just be me mugging everybody at this point. So it's been actually very entertaining to watch. But I would be very upset if I don't get to see LSU and South Carolina go at each other, man. I would be very upset if I don't get to see these two teams because I definitely, and even if it's not in the championship, I definitely want to see that rematch between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese because, man, when she was doing this thing to her last season, that joint was crazy. But I'm happy that Maryland got in, the women at least, because the men are just god awful. But it just comes a time where Brenda Freeze, man, is like you get in every year. It seems like you always have a great team, but you can never get over the hump. And like D said, it's just probably that they're probably not going to get over the hump this year either because they have a lower seed, I believe. Like what is that? I don't even see what their seed is on that screen.
Yeah, they're 10th in the
Yeah, definitely not
in
going to
the
make.
in the Portland second region because they're only using 2 sites, so that's why you
Yeah,
see Albany
Yeah,
1,
bottom of your
2.
screen.
yeah, that idea. They might be. They could be Iowa State and lose to Stanford, like you said.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
that
losing
could definitely
Stanford.
be that.
Oh, they're gonna lose
Yeah,
Stanford.
they're gonna get smoked. But yeah, man, it's just disappointing, man, because you root, we root for Brandon Freeze over here, and she just never can seem to get over the hump with that squad, especially when she actually had Angel Reese on the team a couple years back, and let her get away. But it is
Yeah,
what
it's
it
a,
is,
it's a
man.
lot to that. I leave it alone,
I
man.
know there's more to it than just that, um, but yeah, man, it's just frustrating. But yeah, man, the only thing I want to see is Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese battle it out again. Whenever it happens, it could hopefully it's a national championship game. That'd be great.
Oh well, no, it's gonna happen in the Elite Eight if it does
Okay,
happen.
well, in the Elite Eight, I would love to see it. I can't wait. I'm pretty sure both teams will get to the Elite Eight, but if that's going to be a barn burner. But all in all, the women's side is really, really good.
I
They
always
have
say with the women's tournament, I mean cut you off, Roger, but in the women's tournament, the Sweet 16 and and beyond is the rounds to watch.
okay, yeah. The women is doing that thing, man. They are doing that thing big time. You know what? And they might be more exciting than the men. Who knows? I
They
would
have
not be
more
surprised.
names. It's more star power. It's definitely more star power.
Oh, they got names. That's for sure. They definitely got some names that we do know. Because but I mean, like I said before, um, with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark doing what they do right now it's just fun to watch. It really is. Even if you're a casual fan like myself, who just happens to turn on the TV and just watch the women be balling out, it's great to see. So hats off to them. I can't wait to see what happens in the women's tournament.
Should be very, very interesting. So shout out to all the ladies there. I'm going with South Carolina though. I just don't see them losing this year. I think they may be even better than they were last year.
Do they get that revenge, man?
And like you said, they might have to see LSU again.
They're going to see LSU again. I don't think LSU is going to. I just don't see them losing, man. I don't.
I know, man. That road ain't easy, man.
It
You like I
ain't.
said, UCLA is the real deal, and then Iowa going at it. Then I think after that you got to see either USC or Ohio State or UConn, man. So
Yeah,
road ain't easy.
yeah. South Carolina got a cakewalk though, in my opinion. I mean, until they maybe see Notre Dame or someone, but
Yeah,
they really don't have a tough matchup, in my opinion. And I don't know how good Texas is. D, I was going to ask you about that. I really haven't kept up with them. I know they lost 4 games, but I mean, are
It's
they
good in the Big
somewhat?
12, but
Yeah,
in that region, I could definitely see Stanford getting to the Final Four, beating them in the Elite Eight. Tennessee's and NC State wasn't quite as good this year as we used to seeing both of them programs being. So I think Texas might have lucked out there a little bit. They was the last number one seed, and they might have out the draws. They might have lucked out.
Whew. Well, let us know in the comment section. What are you guys looking forward to seeing? March Madness is here. Starts with the first
Yes.
4, and it will conclude April 7th and April 8th from Cleveland for the women and Phoenix for the men.
Yeah,
I
your
mean,
boy, no Jim Nance, man. He only on commercials. He's retired from doing the main tournament. Our good friend Iron Eagle is top man now, and no Greg Gumbel on this year. He had a family health issue, so no Greg this year. But hey, we had Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith, baby, my
can they call a
homies.
game? Can they call it? Can they
I
call a
mean,
championship game?
Yeah,
Chuck,
yes, they
Chuck.
should be able to do everything at this
Hey,
point.
look. You might not have watched, but you know more than Chuck. You know Chuck. Jack.
He talking about Purdue can beat the Bulls, man.
Yeah, that joke was wrong, man. I was like, come on, man.
Slide, man.
Stop.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
only Charles Barkley, man. Only him.
Yeah, he said that the other night. Now, if he just said the Wizards, I would have maybe said yeah. I would have maybe said yeah, maybe.
Everybody beats the Wiz, ain't that?
But
Ain't that what it
Chicago,
is?
yeah.
yes.
But Chicago competes, man. They compete on a nightly basis, man. That's how it's kind of like, yeah, that's a little grimy. Do that like that.
Fellas. Oh, Cavante checking in.
Hey,
Shout out
that's
to
what's
Cavante.
up,
Well, see,
Cavante. Make sure you hit that like button, brother.
yeah,
It's on the
Yes.
algorithm.
We were
Yes,
talking about
please.
the men's side earlier. It's just not a lot of compelling names. And I'd be honest with you, the draft, don't be shocked. A lot of the draft stuff be a lot of more foreign guys. With more foreign guys going well in the NBA, more of them scouts is going over there to see what else they can get. And the American men ball has not been pleasing to the eye, as they say at times. So, excuse me. And it's not a fundamentally sound game, man. It's got to be honest about it.
True, that's a fact. Yeah, it is March Madness, man. I am glad that this is back. I kind of, it's been a little dry period, with NBA basketball, and we need something to get us pumped up, because right after this, the playoffs start for NBA basketball. So
Baseball will be back too.
and
Go O's,
baseball,
baby.
yeah, the
That's
O's
right.
will be back. Hopefully have a fantastic season after that letdown last season, but. I'm pretty sure they learn from it, so they'll be back in the form, and it's just a lot of good things going on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good things going on for the Orioles, and I guess for the Ravens too. I got my little spill. I gotta give tomorrow because
Screw the Steelers. I will say it right now since I won't be on. Screw the Steelers.
it's not just it's not just them, man. It's
I know.
how the whole division
I know.
is completely crazy, man. The whole division is just nuts. I mean, every team in the division in our division is great. It feels like every team has a great quarterback. I gotta say it, man. I gotta give hats off to the Steelers. I do. I gotta. I mean, I thought they was, I thought they was done.
They're never dead. Haven't I told you that?
They're the
Don't be
cockroaches, damn it. They
dead.
don't die. That's why we call them the cockroaches. They don't die, right?
I thought it was over for Mike Tomlin. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was buried, and now he's
he's like the Undertaker back in the day. The buried linebacker put his hand up.
Yeah, now he's about to choke slam the hell out of
he came out the grave
division,
now.
man.
Yeah, he came out
all
the
these
grave.
acquisitions. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be wild. We got Rita Hubbard tomorrow as a special guest. I gotta ask her some of these questions, man, because right now, I'm not saying the Baltimore Ravens are nervous or anything, but bro, coming from being the number one team besides the playoffs last year in the regular season, it's going to be a dogfight this upcoming season. It is going to be brutal. It is going to be ugly.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, they got to draft well, man. They got to draft well. This is an important draft for them. Very important.
Facts. You ain't lying, brother. You are definitely not lying. But yeah, we're gonna ask her some questions, see where her head is at, and preview. I guess some more of the bracket. NCAA March Madness bracket. Get ready for that tournament, and we'll have Cravante and Dre on, of course. Hopefully, Big D, you'll be in the comments if you're not asleep. But that's neither here nor there. And of course, we'll probably check in on some wrestling action too, because the Rock had his concert on Friday, and it was very entertaining,
baby.
And a lot of the backstage talent was up in arms about his profanities over the past couple of weeks. But we'll get into that as well and give you a great show tomorrow.
They need to all stop crying.
I agree.
That's right. Just like Cody.
Yes. Talking about his mom, But yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a cool time, and just can't wait, man. Can't wait for the NFL season to start. Can't wait for the Orioles season to start. Can't wait for the March Madness tournament and for the NBA playoffs to get cracking, because this is what we live for. This is the things that we want to see.
Speaking of baseball, there will be 2 baseball games this week, D, as the Dodgers and the Padres are playing overseas. So Wednesday and Thursday, if you want to get up at 5 a.m. and watch them, you can watch some baseball on your TV as well.
I'll be getting up at 5 a.m., but I will not be watching the Padres and the Dodgers, no doubt. That ain't happening.
Hold up.
Yes.
Good luck to them.
It's in South Korea, by the way.
So we
South Korea.
So we doing are we gonna do a 5 a.m. stream like we did?
No, not for that. No, hell no. Even if the Orioles was playing, hell no. D, what's going on your channel, man? Let people know before we get out of here.
Yes, sir. Got more action coming up from the state finals coming up tomorrow. Later this week, we had a Baltimore City County basketball all-star game on the boys' side, and start of lacrosse season, the DMV Spring Sports Series began here on the Diaspora Network on YouTube. You can also check us out via the Twitter at Diaspora Net, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Diaspora Network as well. Getting your best sports action in the DMV area.
Yes, make sure y'all check out Diaspora Net and Raj before we get out of here. What do the people need to do if they're watching on any other platform, YouTube? What they need to hit the like button? What they need? You on mute. You on mute.
Hell of a promo.
He's cutting a hell of a promo, but he's on mute.
Oh, yeah, right. God damn it, I just said the whole thing. Look,
it's all good.
I see 36 people in the chat. The Flex Zone Podcast. If you're not subscribed to the Flex Zone Podcast, please go over to your YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm. It helps with our watch time. It helps with everything. Please go over there and hit that like and subscribe button. There's 36 people of y'all in there. I'm pretty sure you're watching on Facebook or X. Go over to the YouTube channel, hit the like and subscribe button, man. Please, I'm asking you. Big Rod is asking you. The meat man, I'm asking you. Please do that for me, brother. We definitely would appreciate that.
That's right. Shuck it, dug it, quack, quack. Hit that like button.
Yes. Make sure y'all check out Diaspora Net, all your high school DMV action. And of course, here on the Flex Zone, tomorrow, episode 432 with Rita Hubbard from the Lock on Ravens podcast and many other endeavors around the city. We'll get into that and so much more. Talk about Ravens, AFC North, and NFL free agency storylines as well.
The podcast is Winning Time.
Winning time.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Winning
yes.
time.
Winning time with our good friend Cordell. Shout out to Cordell.
Yes.
Flex Zone podcast, only place giving you sports how you want it, fellas.
When you need it.
Let us know your final 4 thoughts. We broke it down, men's and women's. We'll be talking about it more tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be recapping it as it happens. For D, for Raj, throw up those ones, acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table. And until next time, we're all together. And you'll see us tomorrow. Hit that bell to know when we're live and hit the like button on the way out. We gone, yo. Peace. Have a good night.
Peace. Hair grease.